Okay, so we're here with Michael Barnett. He has a new book out, Black Men Be Truthful to Yourself and Arise. Self-help book for especially these time of days and the craziness of the world. Books like this are help people. So he's gonna talk about it today. So the widening gap between the have and the have-nots.
Oh, yes.
What do you think?
Thank you. I think that's a very good question because the gap between the rich and the poor continue to widen, and the widening gap continue to create racism in the country and create poverty where poverty don't necessarily have to be. This widening gap, it means that there's a group of people in the country who don't have the privilege and the opportunity to mend for themselves. Not so much because I'll stop them, but sometimes it's the way we think as a people. It's hinder us from proceeding and accomplishing our goals in life. This book was written as a way to help uplift and encourage people that they can achieve beyond themselves.
And what about the advantage of investment?
Oh, investment is very important in the black community. And I think that is a big problem where a lot of, in the black community, in the city, people who achieve and make money out of sports, entertainment, they don't tend to invest.
Yes, very true.
In these communities. They tend to keep their wealth and money for themselves. So, and although they came from these communities, they don't create anything.
They forget fast.
You're right. So, because of that, the unemployment rate among the black youth is very high in these communities. Not because God don't bless them, but I think that they are not investing properly. And if there's no jobs, there's no growth.
And what about there's a part of that blacks locked out of the employment system?
Oh yes, that's
I've heard of that
awesome.
before too.
Mm-hmm.
So especially the young kids.
Mm-hmm. Right. There's a lot of young people graduating from school and after living in their parents' basement, they can't get jobs. Not because they are handicapped or they are incapable of working, but because of some of the bureaucracy within the employment system, where within the private sector and public sector, when you apply for a job, especially now, people are employing it based on your credit score, and that's a problem. Because a lot of young people leaving college, leaving high school, have bad credit. And if you're going to employ somebody based on their credit score, you're going to have high unemployment. So that continual issues. And one of the biggest problems we're facing also is when you go online to fill out an application for jobs, that application process cannot be closed unless you disclose who you are, yourself, and whether you black, white, Chinese. That should not be happening in America.
Yes.
That is this racism at its best. And so a lot of young black people especially applying for jobs, once they disclose who they are, the company would never reply to them.
How important is voting for the young people?
Oh, voting is very important. As a touch on that, I remember Martin Luther King. He sacrificed his life so that young people, young African Americans, men and women, could get this opportunity and use it to demand a better life for themselves. But voting is very important in this context. Why? Because voting allows people to demand good representation that will secure growth and opportunities in their communities. And what has been happening is that a lot of people have placed themselves into a dark corner What I mean by that, they label themselves they're Democrat or they're Republican. For me personally, I don't believe that we should be voting that way. I believe we should be in the center, and we should demand from our representative to do things for us because we elected them to do so.
So the person is more important than the party.
I think that voting for the person is more important than voting for the political party.
Okay.
Because what has been happening over these years is that people have been voting for the political party. And that's why within our system or within our communities, there are a lot of inner cities here that the political party ignore these people unless you are big donors, you know. So we need to vote for the individual candidate
Okay.
who knows us, who cares about our needs and can help us.
Okay. The subject of Black American entitlement mentality.
Oh yes, that entitlement mentality is a problem within the Black community, where
I've never heard of this phrase before. Please tell me more.
yes, okay, this mental entitlement, where you think that somebody owes you something or
Okay.
somebody should give you something, you know, I object to that. I think that we need to start to think that we can create opportunities for ourselves. We can create these opportunities for ourselves if we demand the resources, necessary resources from our representative and our government, and use these resources to establish and create business opportunities within our communities. By creating jobs in our communities, it would cut the unemployment rate amongst the Black youth. Today in Chicago alone is over 722 murder.
I saw that the other day. I think that's incredible.
Yes, and that's very sad.
Very sad.
Very sad.
And nothing's happening.
And nothing happening because
It's been like that for a couple of years now.
too long. And the sad thing about it is that we have our president is from that era, you know. So I think young people need opportunities. The shooting and the violence is just a reflection of the lack of opportunities and the lack of jobs for our youth.
Yes.
So our young people are turning to crime and violence as a means of survival. This book, I think, can offer a true direction and give young people hope. And I think that every person should read this book. This book is very important. That's why I'm actually promoting this book, because this book can give a true direction to how our community can develop itself.
What do you feel about the NAACP?
Oh, the NAACP, wow.
They've been around a long time.
They've been around a long time ago. And the NAACP have been involved in a lot of things. They have involved in, during the 60s, during the civil rights struggles.
Yes.
And they have created a lot of school education system within that period of time. But since lately, the NAACP, I think, it is more like a foot soldier, political foot soldiers. They are not been able to offer any true direction to young people. So, to me, they are more a stumbling block in today's society than opportunity to advance our people. So I look at the NAACP as a great organization. What it needs is true leadership. Some time ago, I ran for the NAACP president. I just half a young man, you know, coming to school. I ran for the office, but before the election, I got a call, and the call said they already chosen or selected a president. I'm asking the question even up until today: how do you select a president, you know, without the election? So, in order for us, the NAACP, to help young people, it needs to reorganize itself, and instead of being a stumbling block now, it can be a real direction to hope and opportunities.
The impact of prison on the black community has been very bad. What do you think, and what can we do to change it, reform it?
Oh yes, that's
The prisons are full.
the prison population is full right now. It is ironic that the population of the U.S. is 330 million people. It might look a lot, but compare it to India, 1.4 billion.
Yes.
Compare it to China, 1.4 billion. It's really a small amount of people in such a big country. So I think America need to invest in its people.
Yes.
And it's very sad to know that 25% of the world population is in American prison. It means that
I saw that stat on CNN recently.
right.
Now that's, when you think about it, 25% of the world's population, and America is a small country compared to a bigger country.
Bigger country.
That's incredible.
That's very incredible.
And most of them, I think, are minorities.
Minorities, because the overwhelming prison population, 65% of the prison population is black.
Wow.
It's very sad, you know. And you ask, what is happening? The American prison population represent roughly 8.8 million people, inmates. That prison population is much more than the population of Hong Kong. It's much more than the population of Jamaica. You're talking about a mass prison system where young black man is being trapped today, and I think that is very sad to put young ignorant youth who commit 2 or 3 offense, put them away for life or 15 to 20 years in prison. I think that is overbearing. And one of the worst thing again is when you put these ignorant youth in prison, 18 years old, and you let him out when he's 30-year old. What the system have done is actually create a monster here, because this youngster, he haven't been educated in prison properly, he haven't been trained in the prison system, and so he now come out of the prison system thinking, what can he do to make quick money? So that's a big problem, and I think that the prison system need to be reformed. The prison system need to reform in terms of allowing people that have been sentenced for more than 2 years should be able to get an education up to the associate degree level. And apart from just reading and writing, the prison should have technical programs. And I know that there are some prisons that offer that, but we need to have it more widespread. Technical programs where young people can learn a skill, real workable skills, that when they leave the prison system, they can immediately go into the employment system. And not just that, I think the prison need to create apprentice program that allow young men after leaving prison should work in the public sector, maybe for a minimum wage, and after a year they should be working for professional wages.
So probably the main reason why there's so many black people in prison is the war on drugs.
Yes.
And especially the crack, heroin epidemics from the 70s, 80s, even the 90s. Crack took a big toll on the community. What do you think?
I think crack is a big problem in the black communities. But crack is a drug, just by itself. I know that the government have used crack as a way to imprison a lot of young African American men, and because of the 3-strike laws that allow judges to automatically sentence black people who commit 3 offense. Not just black people, it's everybody. But most of these people, 65% of the prison population is black. So that's an issue, and that's an issue that we have to look at, really. I think drugs is a problem, but the question is, what make young African American men so enticed by crack cocaine? Why? And so that's where I think this book offers some solution and some hope that we can think and goes beyond ourselves and realize that what we are doing cannot develop our communities, cannot build factories, cannot build a society to progress. So we need to change and get this book. This book offers true direction. Black man, be truthful to yourself and arise. I wrote this book, and this book directly from my heart, my spirit, I put in the book because I believe that what I saw in our communities, it can be fixed.
What about the ideological battle?
Yes, there's an issue there because we tend to think that what we see around us is all there to society. Our community don't really travel too far, so we think within a small box. We need to get out of the box and start think beyond just we want to be a basketball player, we want to be entertainer, but see ourselves and our children as the next Bill Gates. Our children have the capacity to develop new things, to manufacture new product, but we need to start think as a people. One of the problems today is people are talking about Russian hacking into American systems,
yes,
cybercrime.
Every day it's been on the news
And
for the past
yes,
2 or 3 weeks.
Yes, and one of the sad things about it today, when I was listening to the hearing, is that the lawmakers disclose that they don't know how to stop it. They don't really have a solution. So that's a problem. And the problem is not that there's not resources to deal with it. Our resources is in our people. But if we ignore our people because of the color of their skin, then we are wasting our opportunity and wasting talent that could have solved these things. A lot of the guys sitting there in New York today and sitting there in Chicago today, in the inner cities, these guys could be great engineers, they could be great doctors, they could be great lawyers. But if we continue to ignore people because of the color of their skin, then we are setting up ourselves for failure. I think that we can do much better than that if we start to invest in our people. Our people, we should open up, give them the opportunities in terms of allowing young African American males especially to get loans from the bank. Loans that is not based on credit score or collaterals because they don't have it. But loans that is based on a good business plan that will allow them to repay back this money with interest. This opportunity would allow them, young entrepreneur, not everybody, young entrepreneur, to use this money to create jobs, to open up new business, to invest in new areas.
On that topic, economic freedom.
Yes.
Give me some pointers and tips what you think can help someone in today's society.
Oh, very good question. I think that the economic freedom is one of the best gifts you can give a human being or a man is a job.
Okay.
And we need to seek the means how to create more opportunity, more job creation opportunity within the inner city areas. I was reading recently and I realized that a lot of the things that we enjoy today in modern society were actually invented by poor black men. We have Alfred Craigley. A black American created the ice cream cone.
Really?
Yes, we have Jared Morgan, a black American. He created this traffic light,
Wow.
and he also created the light bulb before he sell it to Edison.
I've heard of that before. That one, yeah.
Yes, and we have the history, all a lot of creation of black people. We have another one, Daniel H. Williams, a black man. He performed on the first open heart surgery in the world.
Wow. Really?
And he can go on and on and on. And these are some of the role models that need to be introduced, reintroduced
Definitely.
into our inner city areas, and give hope. Without hope, our people will continue to be trapped in poverty and crime and violence, and there's going to be a more greater outburst of violence all over, more than what you're seeing happening in Chicago today. So we can deal with that. This is 2017. I think that this is a time where we must come together as American, as a people, regardless of color, skin, or ethnicity, and advance American technology that can save life and create new technology. I believe that there's opportunity to create new technology out there. And sometimes we might say, how or what next need to be created? Because we are not thinking outside the box. But there are a lot of these people in the prison system today. A lot of them could be great scientists, great engineers. So I'm putting this book, I'm introducing this book as a way forward. I encourage you to go online, go to Amazon.com. It's only $20 to purchase this book, and they will deliver it.
I think the book will be good for anyone incarcerated, any family members behind bars.
Sure.
They'll be perfect, for this book. They'll definitely use it the most.
Yes, that's also, but the book offers a wide range of topics. It's over 100 different topics on the book that the book offers, a range of topics. I think that we can elevate ourselves. We can, as a people, we can do much better than this, and that's why I am introducing this book. Not just somebody said you have to write this book to the black community. No,
for everybody.
For everybody. I only mention black men because they are the bigger part of the problem that we're dealing with, and we got to face the truth about that. The issue is that they need help, and not just material help, but in terms of psychological help, and spiritual help, and financial help.
How long did it take to write this book?
Wow, it took me about one and a half years to write this book. Why? Each time I try to write this book, sometimes I end up losing the book online, virus. Sometimes we lose a lot of details, but I keep unwritten note, so I keep going back until I complete the books here.
So it's available everywhere. You said it's also going to be on audio soon?
Yes. I think Amazon.com is now put it in an audio. I think that's a good way also that you can drag as people in the morning, exercising, and they can listen some of these stuff.
So I was skimming through the subjects in your book, and you have a lot of chapters covering a wide variety of subjects. Mm-hmm. Some of them that stand out to me when I was just looking at it, HIV and AIDS in the black community.
Yes, that's an issue that I think that we are dealing with, because we need to be wiser when it comes on to protecting ourselves from contracting HIV, AIDS disease within the inner city area. I think that we need to invest more in terms of medical facility, allow more doctors in, and allow our people to be more educated about their health issues.
A lot of our young people are lacking a male role model, father figure. What's the value of the father in the home?
Wow, that is very important. I think recently I went to a prison, visited some people. I was just there counseling some people, and I'm very surprised to hear a lot of the inmates were saying that most of them grew up without a father around them. They grew up with their grandparents, their grandmom. They grew up with all their mother in the home. So I'm realizing that the father missing from the home, that's a big problem. Young people need that male figure. It's important to have a father around. Father can set the temperament to which the child should go. And it's very important because a lot of our young people are growing up without a sense of direction. They don't know when to say or not to say. Thus, a lot of them think that taking drugs and getting involved in underground work, a lifestyle is good, and over tattooing themselves is good.
Yeah.
That's
a big problem these days.
That's a big problem this day. I think the tattoo, it's beautiful, but the question is, when you over tattoo yourself like that and you go looking a job, the employer look at you and believe that you are not employable because you doesn't represent the company image. So young people should be very careful of some of these things. That's why a father figure is important in the household to guide his children.
One of the chapters that stands out, especially after the holidays are just finished, is the power that black community have, their purchasing power.
Oh yes.
They really don't know that is the key to everything.
That's the key to everything. Black American represent 13% of the American population. They have economic power. They have money. I notice with our community, we tend to spend more in terms of on grocery. We buy a lot. So we need to be wise in terms of who and where we invest our money. We should invest our money within our own communities and develop our communities so that those communities can create jobs for our children.
There's a subject called Africa. What's that about?
Well, Africa, I told a story that when I was going to school, and Nelson Mandela was in prison at the time. Me and my friends used to save our lunch money to contribute to the freeing of Mandela movement, and we'll contribute our lunch money. But we did so with the hope in mind that when Nelson Mandela leave prison, that he would have unite Africa. Yes, he unites South Africa, but Africa is still left languishing out there. And Africa, if it is united, it can be prosperous and be great.
What do you mean when you say living in a fool's paradise?
Oh yes, I know that a lot of our people, we like entertainment. We like to see those entertaining figures. A lot of our people spend money because they want to look like Jay-Z or they want to look like Beyonce. But those people have investment. But if you don't spend your money wisely, then you're going to have it and then don't have it. And then you're going to continue living in poverty. You mentioned about that. I look at some of our basketball figure like Allen Iverson. Yes. Allen Iverson, he said that he spent over $200 million. He made.
Yeah, he spent. Yeah.
Right, and today it was on the paper that he said he couldn't buy a hamburger because he have no money.
It's a shame if he didn't have the right people guiding him, investing,
right,
how to open the right business.
Right, and that's I realized that Allen Iverson is just one person, but
yes,
there's many others like that.
Happens to lots of athletes.
A lot of athletes, they spend their money unwisely and they end up having nothing. you know. And this is what I'm talking about earlier when I was talking about they don't invest in their communities, you know, tangible investment that can create jobs and help young people within their communities.
What's big baby syndrome?
Oh yes, big baby syndrome is that a lot of our people need to grow up, stop thinking like a child. You know, we need to grow up in terms of thinking serious about life. Life is not just about who you look like, who you sound like, or the party you go to, but it means that we need to start thinking about the future of our children by creating long-term investments. Long-term investment in terms of real tangible investment that when you're gone next 100 years from now, your children and your grandchildren can inherit your legacy. And that's what I'm talking about.
Give us some maybe ideas to run for political office?
Oh, well, yes. I'm for the future. I'm thinking about. I'm looking at it and said, how can I really get out there and help people in a more tangible way? And I think the political fray is a good way to go also, apart from opening up businesses. But that I believe that New Jersey need a visionary. New Jersey need new ideas, and New Jersey need new talent. And I'm not going to be shy. I think that I want to be a part of the future in New Jersey also, to making these decisions, to helping our people.
What about any more books in the future?
Yes, I hope by 2018 we should be coming out with a new book. And once we put that book together, I will be announcing it.
Okay, we look forward to looking for your second book, and this book is out right now on Amazon and anywhere else they can find it?
Yeah, Barnes and Noble.
Okay, perfect.
Right. They could go on to Barnes and Noble and find the books also.
So you talked all about the book and the chapters and your inspiration. Tell us about yourself, where you grew up, and where did you go to school?
Okay, I was born in Jamaica, Kingston, Jamaica. My parents, I grew up in Portmore, Jamaica, and about 1977, my mother passed. She died, and I were living with my brothers and sisters. I got 7 brothers and 2 sisters, and we were living together in Waterford, Portmore. After that, my father, I told a story about my father putting us out on the road. He sold the house and put us out on the road, and so me and my brothers and sister, we were scattered. But thank God for a great Deacon Dukran, the church that I attended, Rehoboth Apostolic Church, and pastored by Bishop B.C. Dyer. Deacon Dukran saw my plight, and he reached out to me as a young boy. At the time I was like 15 years old, and he took me in his home and he helped me, and I even until today I appreciate it of Deacon Dukran. I appreciate him. If you look in the book, you'll see Deacon Dukran picture, and I explain about Deacon Dukran, how he helped me in order to rise out of poverty as a young boy.
Where'd you go to school?
I go to school in Portmore. It was Waterford Primary School. Then I leave from there and I go to Waterford High School. Then I transferred from there and I went to Arden High School.
And now this is all in Jamaica?
In Jamaica. And then I went to the University College of the Caribbean, where I did an associate degree in business management. And then I move on here to the United States, where I attend the University of Phoenix, where I did a bachelor degree in criminal justice, and now a master's degree in psychology.
Oh wow, congratulations.
No, thank you very much. But I was telling the story earlier before my father abandoned us.
Yes.
I remember that I was sick. I came down with poliomyelitis. And I couldn't walk. I was actually crippled. And the doctors were planning to amputate my foot. And as a young boy, I was like 10 years old at the time. I was frightened. I was crying and in the hospital, you know. And so there was a particular day where a group of missionaries, they visited the hospital, and they were, you know, given tracts. And I remember 2 ladies came over to me with tracts, and she said to me, young man, don't worry, God will take care of you. But I was just so terrified losing my feet. So she said to me, I need to pray, take the tracts and I pray. And I took the tracts and I followed her instruction and I prayed. I never prayed like that before as a young man. And I remember I promised God some things, that if He healed me, or I will serve Him and I will follow Him. And about midnight, I was asleep and I saw the most horrific thing. I was sleeping, and you know what I saw, it was like fire burning through my eyes, and that glimpse of fire. When I opened my eyes, I saw a fireman, a man standing at my bedside who was on fire. I was so frightened. I didn't know what to do. One thing I told you, I think I run faster than Usain Bolt at the time. And when the nurses saw me, they were making a lot of excitement in the hospital. They said, man, you're walking, you're walking. I forgot that I was crippled. And after the whole thing, I realized, man, I can walk. I got healing. And it's after that I went to church, and preacher preaching, and during the message, he revealed that, you know, I have seen the Lord. And as a young boy, I didn't believe at the time, until I grew up. I realized that this was supernatural. And so I thank God for His healing power. I thank God for His guidance. I thank God for His wisdom. And I thank Him for great understanding. Thank you. And may God bless you. Restaurant, to allowing us to have this interview there at 1286 Liberty Avenue, Hillside, New Jersey. The good thing about this restaurant, that this is an example of what I'm talking about. This is a black-owned business, and this business provides jobs for the people in this community, and it's a wonderful restaurant. And I invite anyone here by the sound of my voice, if you're in this area, you can stop by here and taste delicious Jamaican meal. Thank you very much, and a happy New Year.